Well, the boarding pass is printed and I'm on my way to Texas. We've had a big week this week, a big week for Central Texas, a big week for the country. We passed the DOD Labor HHS appropriations package, and my staff and I have been working diligently on this package now for weeks to get the things we want that affect us at Fort Hood and with our VA and other places. The good news is we got a 2.6 pay increase for our soldiers. This is the best pay increase in about 9 years, which, these guys go to war for us, and we need to pay them well. At Fort Hood, we got $1.5 billion for brigade modernization for the Abrams tank. This is very important for us. We want the best tank on the battlefield. We've got support for our Army Striker upgrade so that our Strikers, which is one of the most effective fighting machines that we have in the war today, at its peak. And we got $20 million for future vertical lift capacity systems, looking at new helicopters, new vertical lift aircraft, all of which are going to be part of not only the fight we're in today, but the fight we may be in tomorrow. One of the things that we've been working on now for almost 2 years, when we discovered that we had provided a lot of money for jurisdictions across the country to work cold case files on rape cases, to do the DNA evidence work on those rape kits that were sitting idle all over the United States. Federal government provided the money. The rape kits were examined, and now we have thousands of active cases that are on the books where we need to go forward against the perpetrator. Unfortunately, our local jurisdictions looked at it and said, it's going to cost us a lot more money. We've got our regular docket. So from that, we discovered where we could come up with grant money that would help them go to that grant money so they would be able to try these cases and get the right person behind bars. Our prosecutors back home across the country, both local, state, and national, are going to be very, very excited about the fact that they're going to have a source of funds to help them get rid of cases that they very much want to get rid of. This week, I've been able to meet with the Secretary of the Air Force, Secretary Wilson, who happens to be one of my former colleagues and a very good friend of mine. We had a great discussion about the needs of the Air Force in the next appropriations process. I had an evening with General Mattis, Secretary of Defense. We talked about not only about the defense bill and what we've done, which he's very proud of, but we also talked about the future and the directions we were going in. It was the kind of discussion that's exciting to be able to be involved in. And finally, I met with Robert Wilkie, the new VA Secretary. He was on the Hill yesterday, and I met with him and talked to him about VA issues, both VA issues locally and VA issues across the country, because as it stands now, being chairman of Military Constructions and Veterans Affairs, I've got to be looking at next year's budget and the needs of the VA, as I will always have to be looking down the road at the needs of the VA. So it's been a real active week in Washington. We got a lot accomplished. Now we're ready to go home and get a lot accomplished back home. So I'll see everybody when I get home, and see you in Texas.